Welcome back to Teapot Talk with Julia. It's Thanksgiving week, so I am going to talk about my family's Thanksgiving tradition. And for 70 years, my dad's side of the family would get together for what was most of the time was a huge Thanksgiving reunion. So it's what I grew up knowing Thanksgiving to be. And in 1920, Walter and Elsie Stormont got married. Those are my grandparents, and they had 12 kids. And this one's my dad, and this was taken in 1942. And in 1946, my grandmother died of a stroke very suddenly, and they decided that year that they would always be together for Thanksgiving. So in 1946, they started getting together for Thanksgiving, and over the years, they started having kids, and they all got together for Thanksgiving with the kids, and I got to see all my cousins every year. It just became a very exciting event every year to see all my cousins and all my aunts and uncles. And this was this was taken in 1982, and it was at my Aunt Joy's farm, and this was the last time that all 12 of the originals were together. And this is an older one from the 60s. I think this was 69, also in Aunt Joy's house in Fresno. They all took place in California, either in Bakersfield, Fresno, or Sacramento, or that area. And over the years, people hosted, took turns hosting, and my generation sort of took over in the last 20 years or so. And I hosted it in 2007 and got to stay with my Aunt Joy and Uncle Ray for a week, and they lived across the street from their church, so we used their church hall. And it was like just a really neat boot camp for hosting Thanksgiving, and I had the best mentors in the world. And when you host, they would make a tablecloth every year, and everybody would sign the tablecloth, and they started that in 1976, and they originally planned to do it for 12 years so that each of the 12 kids would have a tablecloth, but everybody enjoyed it so much that they kept doing it. So then they would say, oh, whoever's hosting it gets the tablecloth. So this is the one that I got when I was hosting, and my aunts in Sacramento would get together on Veterans Day every year, and my cousins, and they would make the tablecloth with the design on it. And we had our Artex pens back in the day, and now it was whatever fabric pens worked. And so the reunions went until about 2016, and that was the 70th year that they had the reunion. The biggest one that we had was in 1996. That was the 50th anniversary Thanksgiving reunion, and it was there were 95 people, and the one that I hosted was about 55. I think the average was about 50 to 75, and it was smaller if it was like under 50. And so it was just a really neat tradition, and we haven't done it in a long time. I haven't been to one in a long time since I moved to Illinois, but it's always just fun to look back. And what's really neat about the tablecloths is that everybody would bring their tablecloths to Thanksgiving, and we would use them for all the tables, because we'd have all the big long tables for everybody to eat, so we could look back at the old tablecloths and see signatures of people who aren't here anymore. And it was like having them, and that's what seeing this one is really like, because it was the year that I hosted was one of the years, one of the last years before my Uncle Teddy died. He died the following year, and after that it just seemed like there were fewer and fewer of the original 12 left, so I really treasure those times. And today I have, since I'm feeling nostalgic, I have Nostalgia Black Tea. It's one of our strongest teas on the menu, and it's nostalgic and it's strong like my aunts and uncles. They were forces to be reckoned with, and just always laughing, and just very good people, fun people, and just knew how to get things done. And this has strawberry leaf and black currant, and I like it with milk and sugar. And this is a blue willow teacup that belonged to my Aunt Esther. She had, it was my great aunt Gertrude had blue willow, and she sort of split up her set, and Aunt Esther had a lot of the blue willow. So after she passed, I was able to get this teacup, and it sort of fits with our Asian fusion menu too. And I like to use it on Thanksgiving and just to remember my aunts and all the good memories. And this is really, I'm really partial to the black teas, and this one's just a really nice tea and just good and strong, and it's the good one for days when you're going to be doing a lot of stuff during the holidays. So I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will see you at the tea house.